Everyone laughed when a poor village boy stopped to help an old blind woman. They had no idea that one small act of kindness would change his life forever. Kofi was poor. His friends joked that even mosquitoes stayed away because he had nothing to steal. One afternoon, Kofi saw an old blind woman standing alone by the roadside.
Kofi walked over and asked, "Mama, where are you going to?"
He carried her basket, held her hand, and walked her home without asking for anything.
When they arrived, she smiled and said,
Many people looked at me today.
A few days later, the village chief announced that a respected visitor was looking for one honest young helper. The visitor looked around, then pointed straight at Kofi. "The blind woman you helped is my mother. She told me everything." Kofi's kindness opened a door that money never could. Years later, he became one of the most respected.
Kofi thought helping Mama Audu was the end of the story. But 3 days later, a visitor arrived with an unexpected message. The visitor asked Kofi to come quickly. Without hesitation, Kofi set everything aside and hurried to Mama Audu's home.
Kofi gently opened the wooden door. The room was peaceful. Mama Audu smiled the moment she sensed he had arrived.
Kofi hurried to her side and gently held her hand. Mama Audu smiled warmly, happy that he had come. Mama Audu slowly reached beneath her old wooden bed and carefully pulled out a dusty wooden box.
Kofi looked at the mysterious wooden box with quiet curiosity. Mama Audu held it close and smiled gently.
Mama Audu shared that many people had wanted the box. Some even offered rewards for it, but she trusted no one. Mama Audu explained that her son lived far away and rarely visited. She had waited for the right moment.
Kofi studied the box with curiosity. Mama Audu took a deep breath, ready to reveal her secret.
Just as Mama Audu was about to speak, a firm knock came at the door. She quietly told Kofi, "Keep the box safe."
The knocking grew louder. Kofi quickly hid the wooden box behind him as Mama Audu gently held his arm.
Mama Audu quietly pointed toward the bed. Kofi understood and gently placed the box underneath, just before the door opened.
At the door stood Chief Bamidele with 2 visitors.
Good day to you, my friend.
He greeted Mama Audu warmly, and she welcomed his familiar voice.
Welcome.
The chief explained that his guests wished to learn about the village's history by meeting some of its oldest residents. Mama Audu gladly invited them in.
As the chief shared stories, one visitor quietly admired the home. Kofi noticed every careful glance.
One visitor smiled. "This is beautiful." He admired the furniture. "Very well made." Kofi followed every step.
The second visitor kept the conversation going. His companion quietly looked around the room once more.
A few fresh marks in the dust caught the visitor's attention. He paused for a brief moment.
Curious, the visitor leaned in for a closer look. Kofi quietly stepped a little closer to Mama Audu.
Chief Bamidele continues speaking.
Mama Audu!
Just then, a familiar voice called. Everyone turned toward the doorway. The quiet moment was gently interrupted. Kofi opened the door. It was Mama Audu's neighbor, returning from the market with a basket full of fresh food. The neighbor smiled and placed her basket on the floor. She greeted everyone with kindness. Then the neighbor laughed softly. "I saw these same visitors asking people where your house was this afternoon."
The fair-complexioned visitor smiled politely.
"We were only trying to find Mama Audu."
"We wanted to learn the history of this village."
As everyone relaxed, one visitor quietly looked toward the old wooden bed. Kofi noticed, and his heart filled with doubt. The neighbor smiled and began arranging the food. At that moment, one visitor calmly asked,
Mama Audu, do you still keep old things from years ago? Mama Audu smiled gently but gave no answer. Kofi noticed the visitors quietly watching her every move.
The visitors thanked Mama Audu for her time. They smiled warmly and slowly walked toward the door. Kofi closed the wooden door and smiled with relief. He believed the visitors had finally gone.
Kofi looked outside. They were still watching. Mama Audu gripped his arm.
Kofi looked through the small window again. The three visitors were standing beneath the tree.
Mama Audu could not see them, but she sensed Kofi's silence. She gently asked, "Kofi, are they still there?"
Kofi softly replied, "They're leaving." The neighbor quietly returned home as the three visitors disappeared down the village path.
After they all left, Mama Audu quietly asked Kofi to bring the old wooden box. She slowly opened the box. Inside was an old folded letter wrapped in a faded piece of cloth.
Kofi reached for the letter, but Mama Audu gently held his hand. "Not yet," she said softly.
Suddenly, 3 firm knocks echoed at the wooden door. The room became completely still.
Kofi quickly hid the box beneath the bed. Then, he slowly opened the wooden door.
No one was there, but a small folded note rested on the doorstep. Kofi carefully picked it up.
Kofi slowly unfolded the note. It simply read, "We know the box is still inside." He looked around, but the visitors were gone.
Kofi closed the door and carefully showed the mysterious note to Mama Audu. Mama Audu gently felt the paper with her fingers. Her face became serious. "They know more than I thought."
Kofi quietly asked, "Mama Audu, who are these people? Why are they looking for the box?"
Mama Audu remained silent for a moment. Then she said, "Many years ago, my late husband left me something to protect." She gently lifted the old letter from the wooden box and held it close. She said, "This letter is not valuable because of the paper. It is valuable because of what it reveals." Kofi listened quietly as Mama Audu continued. "Many people have searched for it, but no one has ever found it." She slowly unfolded the letter. Inside was an old hand-drawn map, but Kofi could only see part of it before she folded it again. Mama Audu smiled gently. "I have watched your heart, Kofi. That is why I trust you."
Outside the house, hidden behind a tree, the fair-complexioned visitor quietly whispered,
"Tomorrow, we will finally get the map."
The old letter held a secret that could change everything, but only one person was worthy of seeing it.
"Before my husband died, he made me one promise. Never trust this secret to a greedy heart."
Many have searched for this map, but kindness, not strength, is the only key to finding what it protects.
Without hesitation, Kofi placed his hand over his chest, silently promising to protect Mama Audu and the secret.
For the first time, Mama Audu carefully unfolded the letter. Kofi caught only a glimpse of an ancient map before she folded it shut again. Mama Audu carefully folded the map and whispered, "Its time has not yet come. Until then, no one must know where this place is."
Outside the house, the fair-complexioned visitor quietly returned. Hidden behind a tree, he never looked away from the small window. As Kofi gently closed the wooden box, a tiny folded parchment slipped from beneath the old letter and landed softly on the floor. Kofi carefully picked it up. It wasn't part of the map. It was another hidden note, untouched for many years.
Just as Kofi began unfolding the hidden note, the wooden door handle slowly turned. Someone was trying to enter.
The hidden note was finally in Kofi's hands. But before he could open it, someone knocked on the door.
To Kofi's surprise, the visitor was Mama Audu's son, returning home after many, many months away.
Although happy to see his mother, Kwame could only stay briefly before continuing his journey.
As Kofi helped Mama Audu toward the market square, none of them noticed 3 familiar figures watching from the trees.
The fair-complexioned visitor smiled quietly. At last, the house had been left unguarded.
The moment the house became empty, the 3 visitors quietly stepped inside.
They already knew exactly where to search.
Without hesitation, the fair-complexioned visitor reached beneath the old bed and pulled out the hidden wooden box. Inside was the ancient map, but the hidden folded note was missing. The visitor paused for a moment, then quietly smiled.
When Kofi and Mama Audu returned, something immediately felt different. The silence inside the house no longer felt peaceful. Kofi rushed to the box. He froze. The ancient map was gone.
The map was gone. Kofi could hardly believe what had happened.
As Kofi helped Mama Audu tidy the room, something slipped from his shoulder bag onto the floor.
The moment Kofi picked it up, he remembered the hurried moment when he had hidden it after the unexpected knock.
Kofi carefully placed the folded paper into Mama Audu's hands. The moment her fingers touched it, she froze.
Mama Audu smiled quietly, while the three visitors admired the stolen map, unaware they had missed something important.
Mama Audu gently held the folded paper. As her fingers traced its worn edges, a forgotten memory slowly returned.
With great care, Kofi unfolded the paper. Mama Audu asked him to read every word exactly as it was written.
As Kofi quietly read the faded words, his expression suddenly changed.
Whatever was written there was far more important than he had imagined.
Far from the village, the three visitors followed the stolen map with growing confidence. They believed the treasure was finally within their reach.
The map suddenly ended at an ancient stone circle. The three visitors searched in every direction, but nothing
matched what they expected. The old paper had hidden one final secret, until Kofi noticed a tiny forgotten symbol.
As Mama Audu touched the paper, an old memory returned, and she knew what must happen next. Mama Audu refused to begin the journey alone. First, they sought the village chief's wisdom.
The village chief studied the mysterious paper in silence, then slowly nodded with quiet certainty.
Together they began the final journey, never knowing the visitors were still searching deep inside the forest. Hidden behind the trees, Kofi watched. The visitors had found the place, but not the answer. The map had reached its end, and silence filled the forest. Seeing their struggle, the chief quietly stepped forward.
Then Mama Audu remembered. The guide was never meant to stand alone.
The completed clue pointed beneath one forgotten stone.
As the stone slowly moved, a hidden secret finally appeared.
The hidden chest was finally opened, but what they found changed everything. The chief slowly lifted the lid, and everyone held their breath.
Inside lay gold, family treasures, and one sealed letter.
The chief carefully opened the letter before everyone.
The chief looked up from the ancient letter, and everyone waited for his final words. The chief raised the ancient letter, and the truth came to light.
The letter proved the treasure belonged to Mama Audu's family all along. Then Mama Audu reached for Kofi, because kindness had made him family.
The chief smiled with pride. Kindness had found its greatest reward. Kofi helped a stranger and found a family. That became the greatest treasure of all. One act of kindness changed every life. Thank you for watching. Follow for more inspiring stories.